Sorry, I've been experimenting with sleep for the last 5 to 7 years, primarily because I was heavily sleep deprived whenever I was in school and when I was younger, and I had to wake up early, and that's why I really got into researching sleep. And over the years, I've probably read too many books on the topic and done too much research on the topic that it probably semi-depressed me, since I realized that a lot of the information that we have about sleep is actually total BS crap. They're lies, this structure where we're forced into waking up at 8, 7 in the morning and then going to bed at a certain time in the evening. There's a lot of data pointing towards that not being how our bodies work, in the sense that not everyone is the same. You have people that wake up early naturally because it's in their genes, in their DNA, in their body type, passed on from their ancestors. There's morning people, people that enjoy waking up early. There's people that enjoy staying up late, and usually that's because of your body. And if you want to know more about this, I definitely recommend the book Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. That really opened my eyes on a range of topics on sleep. And I don't want to go into sleep in general too much. Right now, I want to talk about how I'm going to make some changes to my sleep, because I've noticed that in the last few weeks I've been more tired than before. I've been very heavily reliant on caffeine to get through the day, wake up, get some caffeine in my body. I actually don't drink coffee because I'm doing intermittent fasting, but I would take small doses of caffeine pills, caffeine powder, which is, it's essentially the same as coffee, but doesn't doesn't count as food, so it doesn't break your fasting. And I noticed that yesterday I stopped taking caffeine for the first day, today, second day. My energy levels have just been insanely low because of my caffeine dependency. And that made me ask the question, okay, maybe there's something wrong with my sleep, because usually when you're tired or you don't feel great, it's a symptom, right? Me needing caffeine to get through the day, it's usually a symptom of something else being wrong. So I figured I need to do some more research. I looked into some articles. I went up onto Reddit, reddit.com, checked some anecdotes there, and I realized maybe it's time for me to try making some changes to my sleep again, primarily biphasic sleep. In the last 2 years, I've experimented with biphasic sleep, you know, probably somewhere between 5 to 10 times. And if you're not familiar with biphasic sleep is essentially sleeping twice. Biphasic, twice, two phases, and monophasic is once. Most people are monophasic sleepers in the sense that they go to bed, they sleep for a long time or a short time, depending on how much sleep they get. They wake up and then they go on with their day to then eventually wind down in the evening again and sleep. That's a monophasic sleep cycle. You sleep once. Biphasic sleep, if you sleep in the day and then you take a nap, similar to how, your grandparents or older people might take naps, we make fun of them as kids, just like what I did with my grandfather back in the day. He would be sleeping on the couch, I would be touching his face or whatever, waking him up, being a little brat. And he slept twice. So he had long sleep at night and he had a short nap in the afternoon. This is technically, theoretically, this is biphasic sleep. Sleep in two phases. Now, biphasic sleep can also be that you sleep 6 hours and then 3 hours, 4 hours and 4 hours. There's a lot of different ways to do it, but that's the essence of biphasic sleep. And what I want to experiment with, and which I'm going to experiment with again, is sleeping twice a day, once for a period of about, I would say, 4 to 8 hours, preferably somewhere between 6 to 7 hours, and then for another period for 2 to 3 hours. And now, mind you, that this might not be good for you, right? Some things might work for me that might not work for you, or might not work for other people, and that's how it is, right? But we can only know by experimenting. And I know a lot of people, and I've read about a lot of people, anecdotal evidence as well, that have found that they function better, feel happier, feel more energetic on a biphasic sleep schedule in the sense that they sleep twice a day. And for me, it makes sense because being up for 16 hours, of course, you get more tired by the end of the day. This is also because your sleep tolerance is building up. I forgot the exact name, but the synonym is sleep pressure, which is essentially for every hour that you're awake, there's more pressure in the body to fall asleep again because it's building up some type of hormone. Can't remember the name. Just Google that, you'll find it, and it will essentially build up this hormone so that you're tired at the end of the day. That's why you get tired throughout the day. Now the problem is, for me, I have a very hard time sleeping. Even when I follow all the so-called rules on sleep hygiene and check off all the boxes on how I should sleep better, my room has the perfect temperature, everything is perfect, I still have a difficult time sleeping. It's difficult for me. My mind's racing, probably have some insomnia, whatever you want to label it. Truth is that I've always struggled with sleeping properly. And I've also always struggled with waking up early, ever since I was 7 probably. Like, as long as I can remember, consciously remember about my childhood, I had a problem with sleep. So for me to say, well, I'll go to bed every day at 12 or 11 or at 2, and then the thought I have to fall asleep now and then wake up again at 8, it's horrible. It's horrible. It stresses me out. So what usually happens is I get a few nights good sleep in a week, and then those other 4 or 5 days are usually somewhere between I either don't get enough sleep, so less than 7 hours. That's what I don't call enough. I try to get 8, 9 hours a night of sleep, but less than 7 hours. And or I just I don't feel refreshed, rejuvenated after I wake up. And then, you try I've got a lot of work to do. So, use caffeine to get through the day because obviously you don't want to be tired and go back to bed. You want to perform, you want to function. But just like I said when I started this clip, needing caffeine is a symptom of something else being wrong because normally you shouldn't need it, right? Maybe you're depressed, maybe you're unhappy, maybe you're tired, maybe something, you have some kind of illness, some medical condition that you're not aware of. So I'm starting to treat my me being tired as a symptom, and I'm going to try and see if I can rectify this issue, I guess, by changing my sleep. And I recall that the last times I did this, I felt really good doing biphasic sleep. But it feels really unnatural to sleep twice a day, and it's almost as if you have two tiny days bundled into one. And it's also not really socially accepted. Now, not that I don't really give a damn about what's socially accepted, but nonetheless, it's it plays a role because if you're living with people, then they might not be on the same sleep schedule as you are, and that might interfere with what you're doing. So right now, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to go about starting biphasic sleep this time. And I'm either going to sleep between 10 and 2 and 4 and 10. So 10 in the evening till 2 at night, and then maybe somewhere around 4, 5, or 6 till 10. I remember when I tracked it using my Fitbit watch, which I don't have here. I tracked my sleeping patterns for a few weeks, just going to bed whenever I felt like it, and then waking up without an alarm and just continuously doing this. And the data from my Fitbit showed that after 2 weeks, that was my most natural sleep cycle, that I would just naturally fall asleep around that time and naturally wake up around that time. So I think I need to try something like that again, but I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure if I need to maybe change the hours a little bit. Um, because I know that if I sleep before 12 in the evening, I'm going to be up again at 1 automatically. I just can't sleep anymore. After 3 or 4 hours, I wake up again. Ideally, I would want to sleep at 1 till maybe 7 or something, and then sleep again at 1 in the afternoon till 3 or something to get 7 to 10 hours of sleep spread out over the day, having two tiny, uh, small days rolled into one. So I would have 1 day sleep, 1 day sleep, and then actually it being 2 days, if that makes sense. Um, so yeah, I need to spend some more time thinking about that. How I'm going to approach it. There's because there's not really a rule book on it. This is not really taught in schools. Most people don't spend a lot of time thinking about how they sleep and how often they sleep and whatnot. So I'm not sure how to go about it, but we'll see. I'll do some updates on this as well. What I come up with. Can I click this? There you go.